Good morning. Welcome to the Board of Massage Therapy meeting. We're going to play a short video with instructions on how the public can participate in this meeting.
Welcome to the Professional and Vocational Licensing Virtual Board Meeting.
When the meeting begins momentarily, the chair will take a roll call, explain any specific rules for this particular board, and then move to public comment. The name of the board member will appear on the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. For instance, this is board member Y, and this is board member E. Public testimony will be accepted at the beginning of the meeting and before each agenda item. You can indicate that you are ready to testify by clicking on the Raise Hand button being circled by the mouse on your screen now. At the appropriate time, the board will recognize you to speak and ask you to unmute your mic as shown here. Again, public testimony will be accepted at the beginning of the meeting and before each agenda item. Public attendees will not be able to unmute their microphone until recognized by the board. Public attendees who are recognized to testify will be asked to identify themselves by name and their affiliated organization if applicable. Please mute your microphone when you are finished speaking as a courtesy to others and members of the board. Public attendees will not be able to unmute themselves after the testimony is completed unless recognized again after raising their hand. At some point during the meeting, the board may choose to move into executive session. When the board moves into executive session, the board members' microphones and video feeds will be turned off, and a similar screen as you see now will be displayed. When the board returns from executive session, their microphones will be turned on as well as their video cameras.
Welcome again to the Professional and Vocational Licensing Virtual Board Meeting.
At this time, the chair will call the meeting to order and take a roll call, as well as explain any additional rules that may be specific to this board.
All right. Good morning, all. Welcome to the March 5th, 2024 Hawaii State Massage Board meeting. For internet access, to view the meeting and provide live oral testimony, please use the link at the top of the agenda. You'll be asked to enter your name. The board requests that you enter your full name, but you may use a pseudonym or other identifier if you wish to remain anonymous. You will also be asked for an email address. You may fill in this field with any entry in an email format. Example, johnsmith@gmail.com. Your microphone will be automatically muted. When the chairperson asks for public testimony, you may click the raise hand button found on your Zoom screen to indicate that you wish to testify about that agenda item. The chairperson will individually enable each testifier to unmute their microphone. When recognized by the chairperson, please unmute your microphone before speaking and mute your microphone after you finish speaking. If you cannot get internet access, you may get audio-only access by calling the Zoom phone number listed at the top of the agenda. Upon dialing the number, you will be prompted to enter the meeting ID, which is also listed at the top of the agenda. After entering the meeting ID, you will be asked to either enter your panelist number or wait to be admitted into the meeting. You will not have a panelist number, so please wait until you are admitted into the meeting. When the chairperson asks for public testimony, you may indicate you want to testify by entering star and then 9 on your phone's keypad. After entering star and then 9, a voice prompt will let you know that the host of the meeting has been notified. When recognized by the chairperson, you may unmute yourself by pressing star and then 6 on your phone. A voice prompt will let you know that you are unmuted. Once you are finished speaking, please enter star and then 6 again to mute yourself. For both internet and phone access, when testifying, you'll be asked to identify yourself and the organization, if any, that you represent. Each testifier will be limited to 5 minutes of testimony per agenda item. If connection to the meeting is lost for more than 30 minutes, the meeting will be continued on a specific date and time. This information can be found on the board's website. Instructions to attend the State of Hawaii virtual board meetings may also be found online. At this point, I'd like to call to order. It is 9:08 a.m. and we will now take roll call. When I call your name, please indicate that you are present and alone. Darcy Frankel.
Yes, I am present and mostly alone. I have somebody cleaning in the different treatment rooms. So I will put on I'll go into a different room when I need to be.
Thank you, Darcy.
Thank
Sean St. Louis.
I'm present and I'm by myself.
Thank you, Sean. Shannon Skoog. Skoog.
Hello.
I'm sorry.
Skoog, you had it right. I am
Okay.
here and I am alone. Thank you.
Thank you, Shannon. And Jay Sarakaki, I am here and I am alone. All right. So meeting minutes. Does anybody have any edits or changes wanting to be made?
Nothing.
If not, I move to approve the open session minutes. Can I get a second?
This is Darcy. I'll second that.
All right. All in favor? Darcy,
Yes.
Sean,
Yes.
Shannon,
Yes.
and Jace is a yes. Rishay, do we approve the executive minutes in executive session or?
Only if there are any changes, if not, then you can approve them out here. I mean, in open session.
Okay. Are there any edits or changes to the executive session minutes? All right, I move to approve. Can I get a second?
This is Darcy. I'll second that. Thank you.
All right, all in favor? Darcy,
Yes.
Sean,
Yes.
Shannon,
Yes.
and Jace is a yes. Thank you. All right, agenda item 3, executive officers report.
Okay, just really quick, you can see the massage exam statistics in your board packet. There was a total of, in January, there was a total of 47 exams administered. 27 of those applicants had passed. And then in February 2024, there were 52 exams administered and 23 of those applicants had passed. A quick update on our rules. So I did receive them back from the Administrative Service Office. So the next step would be to send it back to the Attorney General's office, which I'm going to do. Okay. I will do it soon. And then that should be a pretty quick turnaround. And then I believe the next step would be to send it to the small business review board. And that's all that I have on the executive officer's report.
When I was looking at the last minute for the testing, was there a response from Gina or Dave?
Let me see.
This was in regards to whether or not it was possible to collect where the testing applicants went to school or the establishment
Yeah,
that they trained at. just
Okay.
because the scores continue to look very low, so.
Okay, so that was for Gina and. So would you guys want like a specific question? Like at the, like how did the board want it again? Like they wanted it at the end or like a survey kind of thing?
Yeah, I think it was more so to see how could we collect that information just because the results looked so low. So being able to track,
Okay, so where the applicant trained.
Yeah.
Whether it was at the school or apprenticeship.
Yeah.
Or sorry, MAE. Okay, yeah, sorry, I gotta follow up on that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or even when they signed up for the exam, I thought we also mentioned potentially at the beginning instead of at the end, because likelihood of someone taking a survey at the end of the exam, they might be done, right? But maybe obtaining that information in their process of at the beginning.
Okay, yeah, I'll see what they say.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Sorry to interrupt, but isn't this kind of a clerical information that would already be documented anyway in their approval for being seen for the exam? Like they would have in the process that ensures that they've met the necessary requirements to be eligible for the exam. Wouldn't that information be in there?
I think the issue was, well, that information we do have, it's not linked, I guess, to the
Yes.
aggregate results, the testing results that we see. And it was more to see, because the testing was so low, we wanted to see if there was any correlation as to where these students were attending.
Right, yeah, I
getting
feel like
the
I get that
education.
part. I guess I'm wondering, don't we already have the information by the eligibility process for them to sit for the exam? Like, aren't there records of where each applicant did do their training that we would have access to?
I don't have the
It's not that
exact,
many people, right?
yeah, but I don't have the exact, like, when I get these stats report, I don't have the exact, like, name of, I mean, the exam branch and the licensing branch has like the names of the people who have passed the exam. But, the exam provider is separate from DCCA and PVL. So, like if we do, yeah, it would be easier to see if the exam provider could collect that information than for DCCA to have to, yeah, because I can't see from what from the printout that they give me is what you guys see. What's in front of you, so with this, I don't know how, like, which of them had,
I see. Yeah, sorry. This is probably a repetition of what you guys talked about before. I
Yeah.
apologize.
and we can always
Can
talk
move on.
about this too, if you have separate questions, you guys can always email me too.
Okay,
That's a
yeah,
good
go
point,
ahead.
though.
We need to keep moving forward, so go for it.
Yeah. If the information is available, it's just a matter of putting it together and presenting it that way. But yeah, I agree if the information's there. Okay, so you just follow up with them, Riche, and you'll let us know.
Yeah,
Okay. All right, before going into executive session, is there anyone online wanting or in the room wanting to provide testimony?
Thank you, Chair. This is Johnny. We do not have anyone requesting to provide testimony.
All right, at this time, I will motion to go into executive session. It is 9:17 a.m.
is there a
Jace,
second?
sorry to interrupt, Jace, just to be clear that we're going into executive session to discuss confidential information relating to applications.
Yes.
Thanks.
Can I get a second?
This is Darcy. I'll second.
All in favor? Darcy,
Yes.
Sean,
Yes.
Shannon,
Yes.
and Jason's a yes. Thank you. See you in Teams.
Thank you.
Can you hear me now? Oh no. Let's see what's going on in Zoom.
Why is the camera not working? Is the camera not working? No.
You're unmuted, we say just FYI.
Am I on? Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can hear you and see you.
Okay, let's wait for Darcy and Sean to come back. Zoom.
See Darcy, Shannon, just waiting on
Okay.
Sean.
Sorry, I had to do a room change. I'm just gonna go grab my water while we waiting for him. I'm gonna mute though. Did I miss anything? Oh,
We are waiting for Sean to come back.
I wonder if he's doing this on a, it looks like he's doing it on a device, and I wonder if it might be even easier for him to.
Yeah, he has to, since he only has one device, we did do a practice run and the easiest thing for him was to sign out of Zoom, go into Teams, like switch between the two platforms. So I think that's what he's doing now, is he's trying to get back into the Zoom platform.
Did you guys in tech support, are you like checking your email in case he's asking for help?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, it looks like we have a few attendees.
Is he in the attendee list? No.
No, I don't see him.
He'd be signing on as a panelist, right?
Juliet, can you click on the panelist tab?
I don't see him here.
Yeah, items.
Does anyone have his phone number to text him to see if there's anything he needs or?
I'm having Juliet check on it,
Oh,
Secretary. I think you should just go ahead and resend him the link.
Okay.
For him or for the.
can I ask a technical question while we're waiting?
What's, what kind of question?
I just about the
If it's something you want to email me about later, we can do that, or
okay,
is it relating to?
it's the tech. It's, well, for instance, I keep having this meetings just keeps a link for Microsoft keeps wanting me to sign in. It's just like coming up on my
About that, yeah, we would have to look at that offline, yeah. So even if we send Sean the regular meeting link, we can admit him as a panelist later. Sorry, board members, I just know that it was like last time he had trouble with this as well, but I know that since he did express he wanted to be able to participate in this vote. So I'm like, okay.
well, and don't we need him for a quorum?
You guys have 3 members right now, so it should be okay.
He participated in executive session, so I
Yeah,
feel like we're just waiting.
that's
for him.
fine too, yeah. Let's give him. What? 10:25,
Yeah,
and
couple
then,
more minutes.
yeah. Cause he did assure me, or he assured us that he was able to switch between both platforms, so I'm not sure what is delaying him right now, but.
All right, I see it's 10:25. In the interest of time, let's go ahead and get
Go ahead.
started.
We'll move, so why don't we just start the voting, and then if he comes in, we can include him. If not, then he's excused from the vote. Yeah.
Okay.
Since we have a quorum present.
Okay,
Okay.
so we are back in open session. It's 10:25 a.m. I'll do a quick roll call. Shannon,
I'm here and I'm alone.
Darcy,
I'm here and I'm alone.
and myself, Jace, here and alone. So I guess at this time, I move to approve the ratification list. Can I get a second?
This is Darcy, yes.
Thank you, Darcy. All in favor? Shannon,
Yes.
Darcy,
Yes.
and Jace is a yes. All right, agenda item number 4, applications. For application number 1, Karma Carpenter. The request for an exam waiver. The board will approve pending current CPR certification is provided. Can I get a motion to approve this?
This is Darcy, yes.
Can I get a second?
This is Shannon. I second that.
All right. All in favor? Shannon,
Yes.
Darcy,
Yes.
Jason, yes. And do I need to indicate, Rashaid, Sean is excused or?
Yeah, you can just say Sean is excused.
Okay,
Also, Jason, you can make the motion and then somebody else can second it when you're reading out each application name.
okay. Application number 2, Soraya Perez has requested an exam waiver. The board is denying the exam waiver request and is approving the applicant to sit for the exam. Move to deny the waiver request. Can I get a second?
This is Darcy, yes.
All in favor? Shannon,
Yes.
Darcy,
Yes.
and Jason, yes. Sean is excused. Application number 3, Manivan Tumlemfan has requested an exam waiver. Or will approve exam waiver request. I'm sorry, move to approve exam waiver request. Can I get a second?
This is Darcy, yes.
All in favor? Shannon,
Yes.
Darcy,
Yes.
Chase, yes. Sean is excused. Application number 4, Stephen Ocampo. Board has decided to approve this application and candidate may sit for the exam. Sorry, I make that motion. Can I get a second?
Yes, this is Darcy.
All in favor? Shannon,
Yes.
Darcy,
Yes.
Jace is a yes. Sean is excused. Application number 5, Kimberly Lane. The board has decided to defer this application pending submission of 115 practical massage training hours at a licensed massage school or Hawaii apprenticeship. Make a motion to defer this. Can I get a second?
This is Darcy, yes.
All in favor? Shannon,
Yes.
Darcy,
Yes.
Jace is a yes. Sean is excused. And application number 6, Leonard Watson. Motion to approve this application. Candidate sit for the exam. Can I get a second?
This is Darcy, yes.
All in favor? Shannon,
Yes.
Darcy,
Yes.
Jace is a yes. Sean is excused. All right. right, moving on. Agenda item number 5, new business. Regulated Industries Complaints Office, Massage Therapy Advisory Committee list. Move to approve the name on the RICO advisory list. Can I get a second?
This is Darcy, yes.
Thank you, Darcy. All in favor, Shannon,
Yes.
Darcy,
Yes.
Chase is a yes. Sean is excused. United States Department of Education gainful employment rules that may affect hours-based school programs and financing. Rishay?
Sorry, one moment. So this item, our chair Olivia Nanashima, she had requested that this item be put on this to the agenda just for some information. She wasn't able to be present today, so she asked that I forward this information to the board, so I'll just get off what she had sent. She just wrote information for us to be aware of as board members. The US Department of Education's gainful employment rules that went into effect in June 2023 will likely impact clock hour programs in states that have minimum clock hour requirements for licensure or certification, including massage therapy. Historically, clock hour based programs have had rules for financial aid called the 150% rule as of July 1, 2024 for massage programs to remain Title IV eligible. Program lengths must be exactly what the state requires. Schools cannot deviate from this number or the entire program becomes ineligible for the Title IV funding. If the state currently requires fewer than 600 education hours, states are encouraged to increase the required hours for licensure to the entry-level analysis project of approximately 624 hours necessary to prepare students for entry into the profession. While approximately has not been further defined, certainly somewhere in the range of 600 to 650 hours would qualify. Currently, there are 23 states that require fewer hours than 600, that require fewer than 600 hours of license for required training for licensure. Let's see, the entry level analysis project was a product of the Coalition of National Massage Therapy Organizations recommendation in 2013. These guidelines were incorporated in the Model Practice Act guidelines created by the Federation of State Massage Therapy Boards. As part of our assignment from the board meeting in January 24, we needed to look at our rules to determine our education hours, so we can use this information that I just read in our discussions. So yeah, that's all that Olivia wanted to share on that item, and we'll probably keep it on the agenda for the next meeting. So if she needs to elaborate more, then she can. I think that's all for that item.
Okay. So we'll continue that discussion. Agenda item number 6, ongoing business, interstate massage therapy licensure compact update.
So Olivia had also she wanted to present this information to the board. Currently only one state has enacted this compact, Nevada, and there are 8 more states that have legislation pending: Nebraska, Wisconsin, Ohio, Kentucky, Virginia, Georgia, Washington, and New York. At this time, the following states do not require an actual license in order to provide services as a massage therapist. An interstate compact is a contract between 2 or more states that carry the force of statutory law and allows states to perform a certain action, observe a certain standard, or cooperate in a critical policy area. Many states have reservations on some of the issues presented in the compact, but the driving force in the compact was to allow for licensure and temporary licensure for massage therapists to practice in more than one state. In Hawaii, we have HRS 436B 14.5 that allows a military spouse to hold a temporary massage therapy license for at least 1 year and not to exceed 5 years in the aggregate or the period covered under the military members' orders of the assignment in Hawaii, so long as the license is current, active, without conditions or restrictions, and the license requirements of the other jurisdiction are equivalent to or exceed those of Hawaii. Last year, the physical therapists submitted legislation for their interstate compact, and this year the nurses have submitted legislation. Both have not become law yet. That's the same for this item. Oliva said that we could just leave it on the next agenda for further discussion if needed. That's all I have for that item.
Great, thank you, Rishay.
Oh, is there anyone in the public that wanted to share thoughts on either the U.S. Department of Education gainful employment rules that may affect hours-based school programs and financing, or the interstate massage therapy licensure contact update? No. Okay. There's no one in the room, and I don't see any hands raised in the attendees, so Chair, you can proceed.
Okay. This last item for ongoing business, rule revisions, Title 16, Chapter 84, Hawaii Administrative Rules. Do I need to make a motion to defer this to the next one, or?
I mean, if the board has anything to add at this moment, we can. If not, I mean, we already currently have a draft going through, as I had explained in my executive officer's report. This one is just it's just an ongoing process. So I know that Olivia had wanted the board to discuss. I remember last week something about increasing the hours and that kind of discussion, but
I did get to network with some of the schools on this topic of increasing hours. Many of the schools that I have relationships with, the resources and the ability to support that is not something that they're too concerned about. They have programs, extended modalities already in place, whether that's an elite program, things like that, that really attract students to their school. But when it comes down to support for the exam is something that they are voicing, whether that is a mock exam or a little bit more clarity on the questions. Having the resources is great, but students, going to massage school, some of them have, that ability to do the science and to dig in deep into the anatomy and things like that. And then some, that's the beauty of our field, is that it's open to those that are more hands-on and that have that touch. And some students have a harder time in that area when it comes to the book work and testing. And us providing potentially some resources on that would very be much appreciated from the schools, and that is kind of what I hear from our local schools. And I wanted to share that today.
Thank you, Shannon.
Also, something else they did, some schools experimented with increasing hours in anatomy on that subject matter being a little too much overboard, caused overwhelmment with students and caused less support on the testing because they added too much to that area in their program where it didn't zone in on the subject matter that was actually on the exam. So curious if there's a way we can provide the school with not just the resources, but more material based of what is on the exam, what should massage students know so they can pass the test. I understand not giving them answers or anything like that, but providing them more clarity, zoning in and applying that focus so they can be successful in the exam itself.
So the candidate bulletin does have it lists the resources that the exam provider uses when they created the exam. I should maybe, yeah, I don't know if the schools know that the information is there.
The ones that I have relationships with, they have received the bulletin, but it is just books and resources. It doesn't have
The items that they use to create the exam, so they would have to look at those books that were used.
right.
Yeah, and I know that there is no sample test, there is no mock exam. Cause I think we've had, or other areas have had like requests for preview of the test questions or, you know, those things, but to preserve the integrity of the test, yeah, there's no mock or there's no sample question, I don't think, that they would provide. I can double check, but I'm almost 100% sure they're gonna say no.
Is there ability to, with the resources that they provide, subject matter of the test so students know exactly what they need to study? Providing them a whole book is
There's a breakdown of I think on the candidate bulletin, it lists like a breakdown of not the exact questions, but the content of the exam.
right. It's a pretty big umbrella from when I was walking through the bulletin with the schools, that they're like, well, gosh, it's kind of just a mystery, isn't it? And that's how students feel when they're, you know, studying for the exam. Current schools are using past mock tests to study. A lot of the programs have test prep as a part of their programs, and they're utilizing old.
I wonder if PSI has test prep. That's another good question for them, test prep. PSI test prep. But yes, so I'm sorry for a lot of the exam related questions. Yeah, that DCCA doesn't really have control over that. It's the exam provider. So yeah, I would have to double check with PSI.
Okay. I think that will be really helpful. The schools I work with, they're saying that the students are passing. So I know we're trying to understand, you know, where, you know, they're coming from, you know, if we can extend support for certain programs or apprenticeships and things like that. But test prep and giving those resources, I think, will increase the, you know, the investment that students are making, and discouraging, you know, them if they do fail. It is discouraging to say I'm going to go and take it again, and maybe be more prepared that second go around, other than just handing a book and saying study more, right? Giving some clear direction on that, again, in a field where they may not be strong in the book sense of it, but they have that ability to support and help people feel their best because they have a passion for helping others. And I know that that's the balance of, we have to ensure that therapists are able to pass the exam and have that background and foundation set to have, you know, success in this career and safety in our practice, but also allowing more therapists to get into the industry. The demand for businesses, people are wanting more massage since COVID, and being more holistic in their care. And I think we need more massage therapists in the industry, and we need to start with getting them in school.
Totally agree.
Thanks, Shannon. Yeah, I can check with PSI if they have a test prep exam program or something like that.
Awesome. And if not, we can maybe look at creating that for our schools and apprenticeship programs.
Okay. If there's no further questions, comments from either attendees or my colleagues on this board, then I'd like to adjourn today's board meeting at 10:44 a.m.
I had some comments.
Wait, are we adjourning, or Darcy, is this still for?
That topic, but you know what, we're gonna come back around to it, so I could save my comments.
Okay, yeah, because technically, Jace, you already adjourned the meeting when you said that, so
Sorry,
at
Darcy.
4 we're adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Aloha.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Yeah.